is a free download from the Fat Quarter shop, and if you look at the description below the video, you'll have a link directly to the pattern. You can download it. The instructions are done very well, and it's done with a layer cake and about 3.5 yards of background fabric. The quilt finishes about 63 inches by 88 inches. There are 2 blocks. The first block they call the custard block, and then the second block is called the cake block. You'll need a total of 35 10-inch squares. You're going to set aside 17 of them for the cake block. That's the big block, the big solid block here. And then you're going to take the remaining 18 and cut them into 4.5-inch squares to make the custard block. The next thing is your background fabric, and you're going to cut 5 different pieces, different shapes in the background fabric. And in the description, I have put the number of strips you need to cut for each one. For example, the first one, you're going to cut 90 4.5-inch squares. And for that, you'll need to cut 10 strips at 4.5 inches, then subcut those into 4.5-inch squares. So I left the number of strips I put in the description so you can write them on your pattern, because I can't change this pattern in any way. So it'll be in the description for you. So let me show you how to do the custard block. For each custard block, the ones you cut into the 4.5-inch squares, you're going to take your 4 4.5-inch squares and 5 of the background squares, the 4.5-inch background squares, and stitch them like this into a 9-patch unit. The arrows on the diagram tell you which way to press the fabric. Once you have your 9-patch pieced and pressed, you're going to cut them in half twice, horizontally and vertically, and you'll have 4 pieces like this. Next, we're going to add the small 1.5-inch pieces to make 2 rows. Then we're going to add the long 1.5-inch piece to sew the rows together and make the custard block. And now you have your finished custard block, and you're going to make 18 of these. Next, we'll make the cake block, and these are the 17 10-inch squares you set aside at the beginning. And we're simply going to frame these. You'll take the 2-inch by 10-inch pieces and stitch them to the side, press them towards the frame. Then you'll take your 2-inch by 13 inches and stitch them to the top and the bottom, and again press toward the frame piece or the background piece. And now you'll have your cake block, and you'll have 17 of these. And to put the quilt together is very simple. Follow the diagram on page 2. You're going to start with a custard block in the upper left corner, and you'll alternate custard, cake, custard, cake, custard. And then the second row, you're going to start with the cake, and you alternate those, just as it's shown in the picture. So there are going to be 5 across and 7 down. And then your quilt is finished. Thank you for watching, and remember to look in the description for more information.